Welcome back to Floatia. We're officially approaching the 1-year anniversary of the Switch 2, and Nintendo just gave us a reason to dig back in to our old library. From Niantic's new AI model to the return of a legendary Call of Duty, we have a massive week of news to cover. I'm Alex, let's get into this debrief. The Switch 2 has been out since last June, but this week it feels like a brand new console. Nintendo just released System Update 22.00, and it includes features we've all been begging for. Handheld Mode Boost. Basically, you can dive into the settings and force your old Switch 1 games that haven't had a dedicated Switch 2 patch to run as if they were docked, whilst in handheld mode. We're talking about games like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and The Witcher 3 finally hitting that crisp 1080p resolution on the go. The catch? There is always one. It's a battery killer. In testing, Breath of the Wild on boost mode dropped from 6 hours of playtime down to just under 4. It also makes the fans kick in a lot louder. Is the 1080p upgrade worth the jet engine sound coming from your hands? For me, kinda, but make sure you've got a charger handy as you won't be gaming for too long. Moving over to the tech world of PCs. Nvidia is fighting a war on two fronts. They have just officially detailed DLSS 5, which moves beyond just upscaling into natural scene reconstruction. The internet is calling it AI slop because of how it handles faces in the new Resident Evil Requiem, because the AI is literally hallucinating what it thinks a face should look like to save on processing power. Characters are starting to look like waxy AI figures. Nvidia's CEO fired back this week saying critics are completely wrong and that native resolution is a thing of the past. But when you have developers from major studios saying the tech is overwriting their artists' intent, then we have a problem. Are we okay looking at fake games if it means we get 200 FPS? In my opinion, no. But let me know in the comments what you think. Now for the Pokémon fans, as the news for you guys never seems to stop at the moment. The leaks for the 2027 games, Pokémon Winds and Pokémon Waves, are getting spicy. The leaker, Ball Guy, is doubling down on a major claim. Real-time catching is back. That's right, if you played Legends Arceus, you know how good it felt to aim and throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon in the overworld without a battle screen. After Scarlet and Violet skipped this, fans have been vocal. The leaks suggest that on the Switch 2's hardware, the game will use seamless transition system. You catch the Pokemon in real time, and if you fail, the battle starts there, on the map without any loading screens. If Game Freak pulls this off, this would be absolutely amazing. It could be the biggest jump for the franchise since the 3D era began. Staying on the Pokemon theme, Niantic just revealed their large geospatial model. It turns out every time that you scan a Pokestop for that Pidgey encounter or the newest research, over the last few years you are building an AI. They've used 30 billion images submitted by players to build a 3D map of the world that is accurate to within centimeters. They're now selling this tech to robotics companies like Coco Robotics to help delivery bots navigate sidewalks. Essentially, your Pokemon Go hobby just trained the next generation of automated delivery drones. They've made it so you're not just a trainer anymore, you're an unpaid surveyor of a global mapping AI. How does it make you feel next time you scan the local pub for a research task? Personally, I don't mind this too much. They have had all this data at their disposal, so why not put it into something useful? Let me know what you think. In other news, Bungie just announced that Destiny will be having a Magic the Gathering crossover. We are getting armor sets based on Jace for Hunters, Chandra for Titans, and Lillian for Warlocks. But the community is not happy. The player counts are currently at an all-time low, and fans are calling this shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic. It's an Eververse only drop, meaning there's no gameplay, no special missions, just £20 skins. In a year where Destiny really needs a win, another pay-to-look-cool update feels like a miss. To wrap up, two weird community stories. First, Meta almost shut down Horizon Worlds for VR users this week, to pivot towards mobile, only to do a massive U-turn 24 hours later after a massive revolt from players. It shows that even Mark Zuckerberg isn't sure what the metaverse is supposed to be in 2026. And finally, on Steam, Modern Warfare 2019 has suddenly exploded in popularity. The game has seen a 150% player spike this week, hitting 33,000 concurrent players. It seems people are finally getting up with the Movement King era of Call of Duty and heading back to the last game that felt like a real military shooter. If you've been struggling to find a lobby in the newer games, it might be time to check out the classics. That's the debrief for this week. Our newsroom Floatia continues to grow, just like the gaming world. Check back here next week for another debrief, and don't forget to check out the other series we have going on. On Wednesday, we're hitting up Cerulean City in our Leaf Green playthrough. And on Friday, well, I thought we were done with the moon in our Destiny Nuzlocke, but it turns out it had one last surprise. And that may have left us scrambling for what little gear remains. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you in the lounge.